and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And in today's news roundup video, we are going to be centering most of it around Ousmane Dembélé. What exactly is the situation with the Frenchman right now? What is the club stance? What is Dembele's stance? What is the issue there since he's joined right up until now? What's the full story? We are going to be going through that in its entirety. But first, we are going to start here with Arturo Vidal. And basically, is he going to start against Atletico Madrid? Because following his sending off in the second half against Real Betis, Ivan Rakitic will be suspended for our trip to the Wanda Metropolitano as we face Atletico Madrid in the first game back after the international break. And that game is vital. That game is a huge match for us, a massive away test. We need to have our strongest team on the pitch. And does that include Arturo Vidal alongside Arthur just in front of Busquets? And I think, to be honest, looking at this situation, I think we'll all agree Valverde's decision here should be pretty straightforward. Arturo Vidal is clearly the outstanding candidate to fill Rakitic's role, and arguably Vidal has really been banging on the door now for a starting role for several weeks, for several games, and I think Valverde's decision will only have been helped really by Vidal's performance after he came on in the second half against Real Betis, because even in defeat, along with Lionel Messi, Arturo Vidal was our standout player. He was absolutely brilliant when he came on, a lot of intensity, a lot of urgency from the second he stepped onto the pitch. We definitely improved going forward. He scored once, he created another, and he very easily could have scored potentially the equalising goal had Piqué not gone for the same ball at the same time. So providing that Vidal doesn't pick up any injury whilst away with Chile during this international break, which we really have to hope that he doesn't, because we are thin on the ground right now in that central midfield role, I'd certainly expect Arturo Vidal to be in the starting lineup to face Atletico Madrid away from home. And isn't that a game that just sounds absolutely tailor-made for Arturo Vidal? Atletico Madrid away from home, all that grit, all that determination, that warrior that we need really to go to the Wanda and get a result there. It really does seem perfectly set up for Vidal. Will he perform? We're going to have to wait and see. And I specifically wanted to mention Arturo Vidal in this video alongside Dembele when we're talking about Dembele's misfortunes, the situation with Dembele off the pitch. Of course, there are concerns, but I just want to say, look at Arturo Vidal and look at him right now, because there was a lot of controversy a few weeks ago about Vidal. He was posting things on social media. He clearly was very unhappy with Valverde, and he still might be about his playing time. He wants to be a starter here. He wants more minutes, and he hasn't really got that since he arrived in the summer, and he was venting his frustration very clearly, and also in front of his teammates. But that wasn't blown up massively in the Spanish media. That wasn't really made into a case against Arturo Vidal. They didn't start attacking his character over that. They simply mentioned it and moved on, and so is the club, so is the player, and now Arturo Vidal looks very settled in Barcelona. He's going to start against Atletico. That looks like the case, and suddenly Vidal, welcome back with open arms. Everything is fine, and that's what I mean now. As we move on to Dembele, things might seem dark right now, but there is a way back. There's no doubt about that, and I just think the Spanish media, with regard to Dembele, are downright disrespectful. I think they've got a genuine agenda against him for some reason, and I really do believe they are out to get Ousmane Dembele, and that's not me 100% denying everything that's being said and painting Dembele as this angel, because I want you to watch the full video here, guys, because I've got a lot of opinions here on Dembele, right and wrong. I'm going to give you two sides of the story, but I just think right now, if there's anything at all that Dembele does which the media can jump on him for, they've done it so far, and I think personally it's very uncalled for. But with regard to Dembele, I look at it like this. I do think right now there is an issue. Not that it needs to be broadcast and blown out of proportion at every opportunity by the media, but I do think there is something there with regard to his professionalism. But even Didier Deschamps, the French coach, admitted this week that Dembele's punctuality has been an issue with the national team quite a few times. He's arrived a little bit late, and he did say that was something that Dembele needs to work on at a very top club in the world, which can't really be ignored considering he's somebody who would know. He has no reason to lie. He's got no agenda against anybody. He wants the best for the player, but he did admit Dembele does have those issues. And I just personally think that since his injuries when he first came into the club with Dembele, which really disrupted and hampered his first season at the club, and it really robbed him of a chance to make an immediate impact, to immediately prove himself with this massive price tag, he didn't get the chance to do that. And I just think ever since then, he's really struggled to fully settle in both to the team, the club, and also to the city of Barcelona, because he had an issue when he first arrived with regard to nutrition. He liked a lot of fast food. He wasn't eating the right things. He wasn't doing the right things as a professional should. And I think he's actually struggled to really form a close bond with some of his teammates. And I think there is an issue there with professionalism, and with regards to getting to training or matches on time, it doesn't seem to be happening right now with regard to Ousmane Dembele. But let's just remember here, we are talking about a 21-year-old footballer, somebody who's living in a new country, playing in a new league, and trying to acclimatise himself with his new teammates and a completely new way of playing. And the expectation at Barcelona is so much higher than anything he's experienced before. People make mistakes, especially youngsters and especially young footballers on big money. They've reached a massive high in their career. Sometimes it can be difficult to deal with, and perhaps Dembele is frustrated at being in and out of the team. Maybe he feels like he hasn't been given a proper run. Maybe he doesn't particularly like the way that Valverde is doing things right now. Perhaps he's nervous. Maybe he hasn't quite been accepted into the dressing room like he expected, or perhaps he's genuinely daunted by that huge transfer fee that we spent to get him and the witch hunt really that he's having to endure by the Spanish press right now. It could be any number of these things that's really bothering Dembele right now and affecting his progress. But look, this is not me making excuse after excuse after excuse to Dembele. He has to do better. He has to learn very quickly what you need to do and the professional that you need to be at an elite club, and especially at Barcelona. And he's got to find the solutions to whatever problems he has, and he has to do it fast. But this is the main point here. This is the really colossal point. The club need to help him. It is not only to help Dembele, but to help ourselves. We spent 105 million euros plus 45 million in add-ons to get this player from Borussia Dortmund. It is in our own best interest to get the best out of him and get our money's worth. And that means doing whatever it takes to unlock that potential. Because you just imagine it like this. You've gone out, you've bought a very expensive car. You've upgraded your previous car and you've spent a lot of money getting yourselves a brand new car. You get it, you have a drive in it, and it's not quite what you expect. It's not quite giving you that real performance edge. It's not quite feeling the way you expected it to feel. But what do? You don't just let it sit outside and you'll think, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to let it rust. I'm going to let it sit there and I'm not going to drive it. Because that's not going to punish the car. That's punishing yourself. You've spent a lot of money on that product, just like we've spent a lot of money on Ousmane Dembele. So find a way to make it work. Whether it's somebody at Barcelona who wants to support him off the pitch, get somebody in to put an arm around him, make him feel welcome, make him feel wanted, or somebody to support him off the pitch with emotional support, really getting inside that head and finding out what he needs to succeed with the pressure and the demands at Barcelona. Different players need different approaches. No player is the same, especially when it comes to footballers. They are very complex individuals, and you've got to remember that especially at his young age, they need more guidance more than anybody. He needs somebody to take him under his wing, even somebody at Barcelona, somebody like Gerard Piqué, who came out after the game against Real Betis and he said Dembele has got a load of talent, but we all need to help him. And he's absolutely right, because I just think whatever it takes with Dembele, whatever it takes, get it right, get it sorted. Dembele needs to help himself. Dembele needs to do more. He needs to do better, but the club need to find a way to enhance and unlock that massive potential that we spend so much money on. Because I think I'm right in saying that collectively, every single one of us want to see the best of Dembele, and both the player and the club have to work together to make that happen. Because if we can unlock the incredible talent that he does possess, and we know that he possesses, we have seen that in flashes right throughout this season, even last season, that goal against Chelsea in the Champions League, when he seemed to arrive, even earlier on this season, he was scoring winning goals. He looked to be on his way up. He's had knock after knock with regard to confidence. He's had injury problems. There are excuses that Dembele can certainly lean on, but that won't work forever. He has got to make the first move to sort it out, get himself absolutely right, be more professional, and then we will have one heck of a player on our hands. And the club, the player himself, and us fans, we will all reap the rewards from that, because the Dembele that we know is in there, he can help us. So that was just my thoughts there, guys, on the Dembele situation, just tying that in with Arturo Vidal, because like I say, there was issue with Vidal earlier on. He's sorted them out, he's talked with Valverde, and Dembele can do exactly the same. There is a way back. He's not just going to be cast out into the cold. We have to work together. The club have to work as one with the player to make this work and get the very best out of this situation before it goes too far, before it goes to a point where there is no return. We need to nip this in the bud now, get it sorted, and really, we will all reap the rewards. comments. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. What do you think? I know there's a lot of opinions out there on Ousmane Dembele. Some people love him, some people don't want him at the club. I want to hear your thoughts, though. What do you think is going wrong with him right now? What can we do to really help him? And what is the best way forward in dealing with this very complex situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Try and be respectful. He's a player of the club, a young player, trying to learn and trying his best to succeed. He's got to do more. We know that. We absolutely know that. But there is a player in there. There is a real player in there if we can just unlock it. So I will wait to hear from you guys. I'll have more videos coming up very soon indeed. Thank you, as always, for watching. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça!